Well, we're about to head out here to Cleveland. I don't know if I touched on it or not. I think I did. We were going to put a clean line, a nice line on Compass Rose DC and Yes tomorrow, and Susie K had to qualify. So Amy and I and Ollie and Addie, Ava refused the Ohio trip this time. She went to her grandparents for the next couple of days. She skipped school for a day and headed down to her grandparents. So Ollie... he's all for it. He's a trooper. He's all for the Ohio trips. So we're going to Cleveland tonight, then off to the sale. I have been inundated. It is pretty humbling, the amount of people that sent us numbers and monetary amounts that they wanted to spend. This is before Lexington and Harrisburg, but I think everybody's figured out by now our biggest jurisdiction since we opened our doors here at thestable.ca has been Ohio. It's not that we tried extra hard. I think we've given every jurisdiction a lot of attention. Pennsylvania's a tough nut to crack. We did pretty good. Ontario's tough every year. We have a number of horses, although we don't have any in the golds right now. We have a number of grassroots contenders, serious contenders. So we've done good in Ontario, but obviously Ohio, with the fillies we had this year, then the colts we had last year, we've had a pretty good run. So, touching on that, I had lengthy conversations with a number of our more analytical clients this week and explained to them everybody sends numbers who they like, and of course everybody likes the Uncle Peters. Didn't I tell you last year that people would like the Uncle Peters? You can't make horses that look that good and not have good horses. I said this a year ago today. Well, around that. And we were able to procure a lot. Now, our best horse was a Man of Many Missions. Best horse last year was a Man of Many Missions. He's obviously not here anymore. He's gone to Europe. But there are a number of horses that I think have proven themselves as sires in the jurisdiction. There's a number of horses that are on the cusp of proving themselves. There's a number of horses that didn't get a lot of great mares. So if you look, somebody pointed out to me, and I didn't realize this, it was one client, and then my father obviously pointed out after, there's only one that I can see, unless I'm mistaken, there's only one son of Muscle Hill standing in Ohio. Just one. His name is Southwind Spirit. Now, Southwind Spirit hasn't got a lot of great mares, but I've looked very, very close. There are some nice Southwind Spirits, and the reason I look close is because the one we got, the reason I was in a big hurry to get the horses from Ohio broke was because we had a Break the Bank K. We had a Southwind Spirit. We had a Well Said. I wanted to see how these horses were. I've heard stories, Well Saids are lazy, and a bit stubborn. I found the filly that way, but hot, sharp, feeling good. She'll come. And the colt I went with today was perfect. He did everything right. The guys we got from Goshen arrived last night, and they all jogged this morning. I went with all of them this morning. Got a few little videos, nothing much. I'll put something up on Facebook later, but we might have something for you in a week or so if we have a free couple of days. Give you guys a real look at what we have. You guys have really soaked up everything we have, really. Not a lot of shares left in anything that we have left, which is good. It's a little surprising, but it's good. It just means that I think people recognize that we've done good with all sorts of different horses in all sorts of different jurisdictions, and people want to get in at the ground floor, and I like that. I appreciate that. I appreciate the confidence that you have in the stable and what we've done, and I obviously hope you keep it going moving forward. Continuing with the trend of, or what the conversation we were having about Southwind Spirit, I have a couple that I like in this sale. One in particular I really like in the Buckeye sale, and people might say, he's unproven, he's this, he's that. Yeah, he's unproven. These are the same people that said Uncle Peter was a horrible sire last year. You can't hide from analytics, and Sons of Muscle Hill are still standing good, are still doing well across the board in North America. There's only one in this jurisdiction. Now, another sire, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm looking at all the Uncle Peters. All of our clients have the same horses picked, for the most part, including me. And if we're picking them, other people are picking them. And if all the big money is going to descend in Ohio onto the select sale, and we're all going to bid on the same Uncle Peters, guess what's going to happen? The Uncle Peters are going to go for a fortune. Now, we might be able to get one or two. We might be able to find one hidden in the sale. But all the top ones that we want they're gonna bring good money. I'm worried they are. So, like anything else, we're gonna plan for the worst and hope for the best. We're gonna plan for us not being able to buy all the horses we want to buy, and that will leave the door open, value-wise, for us to look at other horses. I love the Break the Bank K that we bought. First one I've ever had in my life. Broke him the other day. I come off the track with him today. This is the colt that was acting up, and we gelded him right away. Come off the track with him today. I said to my wife, this is one of the nicest colts I think I've sat. Smart. I've seen him from day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is one of the smartest colts I've seen. He wasn't a natural right off the bat. He galloped, and a lot of times when you put the hind shoes on these horses for the first time, they get a little peggy behind, especially trotters. Don't trot, make breaks, get out of gear, just baby stuff. But this guy from day 2 or 3 to today, just a seismic change. I jogged him today. He looked so much better, comfortable, had his head laying into the head check, jogged beside aged horses. Just was a breath of fresh air. I'm not going to say, geez, he's fantastic. This is the best colt I've ever had. Just a breath of fresh air is what he was. So we've been told the Break the Bank Ks are a little crazy and a little hot. This guy seems fine. He was a little hot at the sale. You know, we did castrate him, but he seems great today. So Break the Bank Ks, Southwind Spirits have found their way onto our list. Don't forget about My MVP. This is a horse we bred our 2 broodmares to. My MVP. West 52nd has his ups and downs. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. He was horrible the other night, but he'll bounce back. And he's been a decent horse for us pretty well right through his 2 and 3-year-old career. Sure, he hasn't been super consistent, but he's been fast. He's been good. And he's not a bad horse. I don't think you could look at him and say, he's not that good. He is. He's a nice horse. So, don't forget, we do have My MVPs on here too. So we have My MVPs, Break the Bank Ks, Southwind Spirits. Don't forget about Wishing Stone. Wishing Stone is on here too. The reason I'm methodically going through this with you is because I see what's taking place, right? The horses I picked are the horses you picked. But don't forget, there's other eyeballs on those horses. The finals for Ohio are the richest finals in North America. $300,000 is more than Ohio and New York and Ontario and Indiana, certainly more than Illinois. So we're doing very well in the richest jurisdiction in North America right now. I would say we're on track to probably have just north of 20 Ohio-bred yearlings this year. We have a number in the barn right now. We're going to pick up a number of them tomorrow, or Friday. We're on track to have over 20, which is okay, because this is a jurisdiction we certainly want to be in. It's a jurisdiction we've been in. It's a jurisdiction we've done well in. We're going to hopefully continue to do that. But to do that, we have to continue with our traditions also, which is being a little smarter at the sales. Value buying, not getting in too deep. As I said to you, we had a number of clients that wanted to buy an expensive horse this year, maybe a pacer and a trotter. Okay? Just don't think Ohio's the place to do it. I still don't believe. I believe that Ohio is one of the last jurisdictions that you can buy anything and get anything. That may not make sense to a lot of people, but when you look at the horses we bought last year, Globetrotting's got just under $160,000 made this year, and she was a $21,000 yearling. Compass Rose DC still has 60 made, and she has the Delaware Stake left. She was a $16,000 purchase, and spend that money. Although she didn't have a great middle or end to the year, she still made 40 grand almost, and she was an $11,000 purchase. Some of the colts were okay. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on Rosa and Valiant, and I'll stand by him. I'll double down on him, and I will say that he will be a nice 3-year-old. Until he's not, in my mind, he will be. I guess the colts were a little flat, weren't they? But that's really all we had. We didn't have very many pacers. Our Ohio pacer, so to speak, was 2 of them. One was Emerald Miss. We turned her out to let her mature, and the other one was Excellent Nation, who got hurt early. He's going to start training here very, very soon. So we did well in a jurisdiction where we didn't spend a lot of money in. We did the same in the year before and the year before. This is still a jurisdiction where you can find a nice colt or filly for a marginal amount of money, and it could turn out to be anything. So I don't think we have to go in and spend $50, $60, $70,000 on a horse. I think you guys know there's at least 2 in the sale that I'm very interested in, and both are off the beaten path. Both are off the beaten path. Neither of them are by Uncle Peter, but there are a lot of very, very, very nice looking Uncle Peters. Now, I still have to go and look at them, pull them out of the stall, put my hands on them, but some of them are going to look really, really good. What I'm trying to say is the low-hanging fruit is going to be the expensive fruit, right? It's going to cost a lot, and that's going to be a lot of people looking at Uncle Peter's. So, what have we learned from the past? If we go where people aren't, we can still find value. Anything you can buy for 20, 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar is a smart purchase. If we find any of the horses on my list right now, this is a non-Uncle Peter list, so we have quite a few horses to look at. If we find some real good-looking horses that aren't Uncle Peter's, probably get them at a very, very good value, a very good dollar. So, I was floored by the amount of people that send in emails, and they're still coming in. Check this horse out. I'd like to buy 10% of this horse if you get them for the amount that you had quoted us. Things of that nature. I have a pretty good handle on what's going to happen, but in regards to a couple of the Uncle Peters, and I'm sure you can figure out who they are. I don't want to pull my pants down when these YouTube videos are going out to everybody, including breeders, but you know the horses I'm talking about. They're the same numbers on everybody's list, and they're not just on our lists. They're on other people's lists in Ohio that are willing to spend more than I would suspect the horse is worth to get the horse. We don't do things like that. I certainly don't. I don't see the value in it, and I think it starts us off at the wrong foot. So we are going to buy probably 9 to 12 yearlings in Ohio. Are any of them going to be Uncle Peters? Quite possibly, yes, they will. But to think that we can get the horses that are on everybody's list for 20, 30,000 might be difficult to do. So I'm giving us alternatives. I spent all afternoon looking at everything that wasn't by Uncle Peter, looking at them closely, looking at their pedigree, looking at the way they move in the field, looking at their siblings, who they're by. I think we got a pretty good handle on what's going to take place at the sale. Now, obviously, have to go look at the horses and see. Just because the video looks good doesn't mean the horse doesn't stand off. Doesn't mean the horse is smaller than it looks in the video, or bigger for that matter. So we have a good list of about 15 horses I want to look at that are not by Uncle Peter, and this is outside of the list we already have of 13, which is 28. And not on that list is a couple of the most important horses for us, for me, in the sale, because one of them didn't have a video when I made the list, and another one I may have omitted. So, we have just north of 30 horses that I want to do videos of tomorrow. So when I get to Ohio, we have to go to Cleveland tomorrow, I'm going to qualify Compass Rose DC, I'm going to qualify Susie K, we're going to qualify Yes. You might say, why? Simple. We want to get a line on Yes. Nice, easy way to do it on a track that he loves. Compass Rose DC, we found out what was wrong with her. She had a large cyst on her ovaries, which happens with females, and we've since rectified that, or are in the final stages of rectifying that. She's going to qualify tomorrow. And then Susie K just needed a line. I'm certain there's not going to be any issues with Susie K. Of course, she drew him with Yes. So I'll go with Susie K. It really doesn't matter who goes with Yes. Pretty easy horse to go with, especially in a qualifying situation. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'll get to the sale around 2:30, I hope. If I can get to the sale around 2:30, 3 o'clock, the viewing is from 4 to 6. We'll be able to pull all the horses out. I want to be able to get 30 videos done for you guys now. 30 videos. Geez, that's going to be tough to do. That's impossible. We're going to have to probably we'll start with the top 10 I want to look at, then look at some outliers, and then we'll do the rest of them the morning of the sale. At least we'll be able to pump them out to you guys as quickly as possible. Hopefully there's some Wi-Fi there, or my phone charges will be $1 trillion. Anyway, just a quick note to everybody. As I said, thank you for all the emails. It really, really helpful. And it really puts me in a good spot when I know we have a lot of clients looking at the same things. So when we buy these horses, we can move them along. Also, I think it was worth mentioning that we do have another list of horses, because I am worried that we're going to get to the sale. People are going to realize they're now in the richest jurisdiction in North America. They're going to realize that. They're going to realize that, geez, we race for all this money next year. There probably going to be some more money pumped into the program, I would imagine. And what you're going to look at is the emergence of one of the leading dominant jurisdictions over the next 5-10 years. So we want to be a part of that, but we don't want to overspend. We don't want to run amok in Ohio. We still have a lot of Ohio breds running through the Lexington and Harrisburg sale. So although Friday is very, very important, I'm not going to be overspending on horses we want. There are some that I do want, but it's never at all costs. So I get a new list of about 15 horses that are not by Uncle Peter. I get a list of 13 horses that you guys already got. I'll give you one that I found. I didn't list the one. There's 3 here I really, really liked. If you're interested, send me an email, drop me a line. I can send you this list. It's outside. It's on the periphery, I guess, of the sale. I'm looking for what's not obvious. That's always what I'm looking for. I want to get to the sale. I want to look at what's not obvious, and that's where we're going to try and maneuver tomorrow or Friday, as we usually do. So, 3 to qualify tomorrow. We got really blue chip, drew 5 in the $225,000 final on Saturday in Batavia. Tough road uphill, a tough uphill road for that filly. She's not sharp as a tack. She's getting a little tired towards the end of the year. We're going to need some help from the racing gods on Saturday night, but we'll see. And then a little bit of a surprise, Arctic Force drew in the consolation at Vernon. There's no gimme there. They go for 40 American. They're going to go for roughly the same speed that Mohawk's going to go for. So it was raced for 16 here or 15 here and being tough. Or take your shot in the consolation. We drew 7, got some Bearcats in there, but it's racing. That's why we race the races. So we'll see what takes place Sunday for Arctic Force. A lot more going on. We got Enduring Strength racing Saturday night in the grassroots. That's a big race for him. Drew the rail with Mario driving him. What else? I don't want to miss anybody. Elysium Lindy drew in Sunday. We don't have anything in tonight. Thursday. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Anyway, obviously the big news of the week is the sale on Friday. So I figured I'd reach out to you guys again, and I might on the way to the sale tomorrow when I get all my ducks in a row. We're going to try and do as many videos for you as we can the night before the sale. They'll all be going out, however many we get done. And then again, we'll be there bright and early before the sale on Friday morning. If there's anything you particularly want, I've already got a ton of emails, and we're looking at all of them. I have them all cataloged. If there's anything else that you would like me to look at, feel free, drop me a line. I really like when people are doing that. It really helps me out, gives me a little bit of direction also. If I know that, Joe or Tom or Bill or whatever, Cindy wanted, 5, 10, 15% of a horse, if it goes for the amount that we have it earmarked at, that gives me help too, right? Gives me a starting point also. So that's it for the sale, for another sale update video. We're going to continue to do this. Obviously, it is a big deal and a big sale for us. I do have a list right now of a little north of 30 horses now that I'm looking at. That may change quite a bit when we get to the sale, but we'll see. We'll see if it does, or we'll see if it doesn't. But we'll be there, and we'll be sending out videos Thursday night. Oh, I got the days all screwed up. Thursday night, we'll be sending out as many videos as we can of the horses we're looking at. Friday morning, we're going to try and send some more out. You guys can call me, you can email me, you can text me. Obviously, I'm going to be hard to reach maybe for big portions of Friday morning and into the afternoon, but that shouldn't stop you from trying. Talk to you guys soon. It is a beautiful day, 29 degrees in Ontario. I am heading to Cleveland in about 20 minutes. Take care.